This segment of the Chopin podcast is brought to you by the Chopin Foundation of the United States, dedicated to promoting young American pianists and making Chopin's music accessible to all. One of his most mature masterpieces.
One of the greatest pieces ever written.
Greatest pieces ever written. Did you immediately respond to this music, the first page? Because for me, it wasn't until the second theme that I was like, oh, there he is. There's Fred. Do you remember anything about how you first felt about it?
Yes, I remember that nothing really grabbed me until this. Which is such Chopin-y piano music with all this stuff. That sort of, I remember, even when I was very young, that really got me. That's where we want to be. You have what I would call a second theme group. It's a bunch of themes that all belong together in a group. It's a 47-bar phrase, which is pretty astonishing. When I say a 47-bar phrase, no, there are little sub-phrases, but it doesn't finish. It just goes up and up and up and up. It doesn't finish till he puts you down.
And just show us the few melodies that make up this theme group.
Okay, I'll do it without the left hand just for the sake of. I'll just sort of go. And that goes on for quite a while until it comes to a cadence. And he gets playful. It's not really much of a theme, it's more to think. Now this is a theme. For 2 whole bars, then it gets a variation. And then I always think of this as the hyper-emotional version of that in an opera where the tenor or soprano, ta-da, 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 ta-da. So when I hear it played tranquilly, I'm not too happy. You know. Then he interrupts himself and he plays around a little bit. He gets light.
I love this for it.
Oh, this is amazing.
He's not done.
He's never done. He's going somewhere where. Oh, it's a 6/4 chord. And he's still not done. Coda theme. He just can't stop, can he? He repeats that, and then you have another coda theme.
Just the things the left hand is doing in there are just.
It finally comes. It sort of gets settled. And another thing in teaching, I remember one student asked me in this section, there's so much to bring out even though there are not that many notes, theme notes. It's sort of like a chorus of angels. They're all just they all just want to. I want to sing now.
Yeah.
I want to sing now. I want to sing now. So which one do you bring out? You just do the best you can. You make a decision. It'll be beautiful, and just but don't try to bring them all out because you'll overload.
I love that it's not like. I mean, he just takes the entire second theme area, and it is really just one unfolding scene,
long scene or a song,
and it couldn't be more different than that unsettled character of everything that came before it, which is fragmentary, indecisive, and
here
so
everything is horizontal,
and it's unfolding like a flower. I feel like in these sonatas, he's almost reconciling. Page 1. Is more Beethovenian. Page 2, is more Bellini, and he's bringing them under the same universe. And on some level, he's using the sonata as an opportunity to show that you can have a constellation of motivic materials that develop in different ways. You can also have a 47-bar bel canto phrase and scene, and they intermingle somehow. And then there's a development, which makes me very curious. How does he reconcile these two very not just different themes? I mean, we just mentioned it. One really is a group of themes. The other is an unsettled assortment of fragments and continuations and changes of mind. So what happens in this development?
In the development, for the first 2 pages I'm looking at it, you're back to the fragments and changing mind and unsettled things.
And polyphony. I mean,
a lot of polyphony.
Extremely polyphonic.
Suddenly it settles down. This sort of slightly playful stuff that he briefly introduced in the second. The second theme has nothing to do with development.
Right.
He doesn't develop it at all.
Usually the development is where you're supposed to work out all of the themes you've heard.
Yeah,
and he's avoiding that.
Relationship with each other, or how they exist in the same space or don't exist in the same space. Although I'm sure we could look at some Beethoven sonatas and find big exceptions to that.
Probably. So what does it mean for music in which the second theme, in a way, is not brought to bear on the development of the story? It's almost like it's intact the whole time.
That's true, as it is in the second and third sonatas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a way that he made sense of sonata form. But it's not conventional. And part of it, I think, is him having to deal with the fact that he wrote a whole bel canto scene for that second theme. There's nothing to do to that.
Well, and even in the B flat minor sonata, it's more forceful and more soaring, but it's also a scene.
It's intact. It comes back almost. It comes back fully in that form.
Exactly
later.
The way, and with this.
Yeah.
Coda doing exactly the same thing. Yeah.
It's just interesting storytelling that we meet a certain kind of scene or character, but nothing develops in it. It really just returns later.
Well, now you've raised an interesting question to me. This theme.
It is in the development. Yeah.
He spends more than 1/4 of the development bars.
So then let's figure that out. What could that mean,
So we're a key higher. Gets a bit lost on the dominant of E flat.
And then it's this polyphonic thing.
Which is not anything else. It's just polyphonic improvising until it gets back to B major. That's almost a bit recappy. I don't know whether he cared about so-called sonata form or whatever it means.
Yeah.
You know, the sonata form was just something that we figured out later to describe what basically goes on. You know, Beethoven, composers earlier didn't say, I'm going to write in the sonata form.
No, but they must have been grappling with what it meant to write a sonata.
Exactly.
When they were in that.
Yeah. And the whole idea of thesis, antithesis, synthesis that you get in Haydn and Beethoven and Mozart's sonatas. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was very interesting. I've never really thought deeply about that development, because it is interesting that the second theme material is present, but that it's still like, it's like you meet that.
And it's one of the
moment.
Fragmentary
And
parts of the bel canto scene. It's just a passing cloud.
And there's so many Chopin pieces where it's like, was there a composer here, or did this fall from heaven?
That's true.
I feel Chopin composing in this movement.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing.
Oh, not
but
at
it makes you listen in a non-Chopin way. I'm listening to it more like it's Brahms or Beethoven. I'm listening to decisions the composer made to try to create a form.
I understand. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's partly why it's been challenging for me to like really wrap my mind around. You can't just say, "Oh, well, the second theme's so pretty." I'm like, "Yeah, but what does the whole movement mean? What does it all? How does it all work together?" So I'm still searching for it.
I've never thought it quite so broadly in the terms you're describing, and yes, I see that.
There's a compositional problem there that he doesn't fully address, but he makes his own, within the material he chose to work with.
Nothing much happens in the rest of the first movement, because you get the whole lyrics Scena again, which ends beautifully, has a cadence, and then just the movement winds up with a bit of motivic stuff, like, okay, let's go.
Yep.
Curtain comes down again.
And then we get a fun little scherzo.
Then you get an odd little scherzo, yes.
Can you play some of it for us?
Sure, I'll try. Well, not doing too well today,
but it's sort of an effervescent little Chopin piece, right?
Yes, with no tune, just sometimes a comment in the left hand. Just little wise comments. It cadences. And we're back to a dream state of B major again.
There it is again.
With sort of a chorale theme of no prominence, really, and little commentary in between. I almost feel when I learned this piece when I was young that I didn't understand this movement at all. It's very nice, but it's like I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
And I always think of this trio as being slightly underwater.
Oh.
I mean, just not really a bit more Debussy,
Attacca.
Yeah, whenever I play the piece in public, which is fairly often in my life, I always take a good wait after the first movement because I think it's going to be 20 minutes before you can even squirm comfortably.
Second, third, and fourth really move together.
I think they have to. I mean,
yeah.
Fabulous introduction. And we have a magnificent Baroque aria, like a long Handelian line.
I also hear this as a bel canto scene.
Oh, very much so, yeah. Yeah, some people have said it's his greatest nocturne, but it has a somber left hand. Very often, because we can do wall-to-wall pedaling or bass pedaling, sometimes you hear changes there. That's not wrong. But I think it's more beautiful. Like a bass player.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than. Because then you don't actually hear the tom. But bomb. But now I'm being fussy, but that's okay. I should be.
That's nice. It's more clear.
And it becomes critical later. It's how often I hear which brings the bass into a vibrancy that's something like you've just moved the bass down an octave, right? Am I making myself clear?
Or don't stop. I like this part. Well, some people have also said, I think Horowitz might have said, it's too long. This movement's too long. So I don't know what we think about that, but it is quite lengthy.
It's very lengthy.
One can get into the doldrums.
Yeah, and especially with the middle section, which goes on a long time. As a matter of fact, when you look at the manuscript, the middle section of the movement, which is an E, with these triplets, when it repeats exactly a number of bars later, Chopin doesn't even write them out. He just writes, this bar is A, just do it again, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Then you get a development, actually, where he takes you traveling. This is particularly beautiful, of course. I mean, it's such beautiful music. It's just painful. Speaking of pedal, and considering how to play this, and of course, are we over-pedaling in general? Possibly, quite likely. Whatever it all means, who knows what Chopin thought. He never thought of playing this on the Steinway in Carnegie Hall. The biggest hall he ever played was in Manchester. That was about 1,000 seats, and he hated it.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, but look, there is something very telling which happens. Pedal all the way through here, right? That's pretty nice.
Wow.
That's pretty nice. And I remember, who told me about that one was Rosina Levine, whose writing that is.
Oh, wow.
Because, of course, I changed the pedal there like every good student would. And she said, "What do you keep pedal? It's written." And she explained the sound effect and everything. Anyway, then before we come to the recap of the aria at the beginning, which is incredible, there is some astounding harmony that's just worth playing. Which is where you don't want the cell phone to ring. And then we get our beautiful aria back, but with a much softer barcarolle-like accompaniment, which makes the whole thing even more beautiful. I would say from the point of view of perspective, this lengthy middle section really pays off despite... I understand what Mr. Horowitz means, it's long, but you'll appreciate it when you hear the return of the theme more. the astounding harmonic ascent he mirrors with a descent almost as good. Then he begins the coda. This will take a whole other podcast. The coda.
Just the coda?
Oh, you bet. No, but it's, for me, I mean, now we're getting poetic. For me, it's like a last goodbye in a way. And at one point, he writes a lot of little small notes, and it's almost as if there's so much emotion in it. It's almost he can't quite, just a little. And then that killer minor, the sixth. And sometimes when it's gone, well, I think that is the greatest slow movement ever written, although there are quite a few others.
It's hard to go on after that sometimes. Like, I guess I have to play the last movement now.
Well, the folks want to cheer, and you want to too.
So then you snap everybody out of their reverie there.
Yeah, there's an 8-bar intro here, and I've heard people do it all kinds of ways.
Like,
they sneak in, and I did that too. I've done it all sorts of different ways, but lately, I sort of think we've been truly profound in the slow movement. I mean, not me, but Chopin has been. And if you've done your job well, at least some of it will have come through. I think I sort of have this as a take no prisoners, just start. Let's go.
It does start forte, although forte with the crescendo.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes I do an ode. Sometimes I actually get faster doing it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Sometimes I think it works. So, sort of. And as Emmanuel pointed out to me at Juilliard, I think he got it from Muntz, his teacher. It's not.
They all get stemmed.
That's obvious enough anyway. And in later versions, I think there even are stems, aren't there? Yep, there are.
You mean later in the movement?
Later in the movement.
But here it should begin the theme.
It is the theme.
I like that a lot.
I think I play this movement practically like a metronome.
I think it benefits from that.
Yeah, and so I don't do any of the expansion stuff.
You start at this pace. You don't have to slow down at all.
Anyway, it's once again, this is almost Polonaise militaristic, isn't it? I always think this is almost almost like bombs dropping. I don't know, but anyway, it's a bit of a barn burner. This is really just it takes the roof off.
There's something fourth scherzo once it gets running, and it doesn't stop.
Oh yes, I mean he's a very
and then there's this. I love those staccatos. Wait, stop. That's my favorite. I love that.
Picture this bass is almost corny. important, of course, is that you have 4 against 3 now. Of course, what we don't want to hear is mathematics at this point.
You know, I don't think I ever really noticed that in people's playing. I think you want to show a little bit of that struggle, because usually people cancel out the tension there, rhythmic tension. Yeah,
I think it's nice to have
a little bit.
The last time around, you're going to have the same thing, even though it's a 6. You're still going to have, and you don't want to mark that in a tag.
Right.
It's not fun. Doesn't work. It's an undertow, as we say in Brahms. You know, it's a cross rhythm undertow. So I think it's good to show that it's just noisier and more congested here. It's just lots more going on, and it gets more excited for that. Then goes forte again. We have the E flat thing. It all repeats beautifully. There's a marvelous little development after your 4th Scherzo episode. Very exciting. This is very hard when you get to bar 205. When you get to 60%. This requires lots and lots of etude-like practice and figuring out. And I don't have any special tricks or advice. It's funny, in the edition I'm staring at has many little notes written by the legendary teacher Rosina Levine. And all she's written here is all 6 notes.
So clearly you were scooping.
So, yes, of course, she's right. And the thing is, I have no magic solution, especially I am blessed with a large hand, but it's not even that easy for me. And I've practiced it a lot. But once again, just like in the first etude, make sure you don't hold your hand too rigidly to the top or the bottom note. Don't try to think of this thing as one large chord to be. You can't play it this way with your fingers stretched out. You'll be dead in a moment. So you. Once again,
you don't even take time there.
No, I don't. Barely.
That's great.
I know I shouldn't say these things because I'm going to be on the jury in Warsaw, but to make this pumped up as a kind of grand statement, I don't believe.
Especially when you're making that face.
Yeah, and we know that no good pianist does it that much, but even I think this is just keep going. This is one spot where you really have to get off one cheek.
In other words, you have to half-ass it.
Yeah. Half-ass.
There's also this option to play octaves at the bottom, I guess. Some people do this.
And the worst cheat I actually did once on a piano with very heavy action, maybe more than once. But by that point, the audience is so happy they don't know.
It's
And if you're ashamed of yourself, you just don't tell anyone.
last line. Any good teacher should circle the whole last line and just say, "Do whatever you want." If you made it this far, you've won. You've won the game, and just finish on a B, and you're good. It's
basically if you've done the whole movement brilliantly, just keep going to the end.
Yep, just play anything. Hopefully they'll already have started applauding, so it doesn't even matter. It's truly a brilliant movie. Just a showstopper,
Showstopper.
Just the decision to end.
Shameless.
Shameless.
Absolutely.
I love that he ended his sonata this way.
Yeah, I do too.
This is his most profound, largest scale work, and it ends with him having as much fun as he ever had.
Yes, and it's one of the few triumphant, happy endings. It's which is not his specialty.
If you enjoyed this video, consider joining my Patreon, where paying members have access to extended bonus scenes from my interview with Garrick Ohlsson, as well as an extra interview with 2015 Warsaw Prize winner Eric Liu.